The Element Cup is coming June 28th in Pokemon Go. The Element Cup is a little cup type format, so 500 CP Pokemon with pre-evolved Pokemon that are part of an evolutionary line, and then additionally the Element Cup features only fire, water, and grass type Pokemon. I was originally planning on doing a top 10 Element Cup Pokemon video, but there were more than 10, so I decided to limit it by the 3 types, this video being the top 5 grass type Pokemon in the Element Cup. If you're curious about the top 5 water type Pokemon, I already did that video, link up above and inscription to that. And then when it comes to the top 5 fire type Pokemon, believe it or not, there are 5 fire type Pokemon. That video is coming up soon, so make sure to subscribe for that. And then of course, if you do want the Element Cup simplified video and you want to know the best teams for the Element Cup, also subscribe for that. Those videos are also coming out shortly as well. At any rate, let's get into the top 5 grass type Pokemon for the Element Cup. Starting out at number 5, we have Oddish. Oddish's main advantage is that it's a grass and poison type Pokemon. So the sub-poison typing gives it a doubled up resistance to opposing grass type Pokemon and also gives it a resistance against charm users. Oddish also has the ability to take down Ducklet with the aggressive Razor Leaf fast move damage, and then to top it all off, we have Sludge Bomb access with a same type attack bonus, and basically nothing in the Element Cup wants to tank a Sludge Bomb, so it's a very threatening move. Overall, I wouldn't think of Oddish's role as a fast move spamming Pokemon, like how Cottonee, Exeggcute, Slowpoke, and Carvanha are. I would think of it more as like a Bulbasaur that can do more fast move damage. Like you have the opportunity to fast move stuff down before they're able to reach a charge move, and then come off of that with an energy lead so you can throw a big Sludge Bomb at something or maybe bait with a Seed Bomb. That's the main way I would approach the whole Oddish situation. Of course, being slow opposed to being fast on the draw with the charge moves can come to bite you in the butt. Sometimes you don't fast move farm stuff down in time, and sometimes the Vine Whip from a Bulbasaur would be enough to fast move farm something down anyways. And for that reason, Oddish is at the number 5 slot here, because other grass types are kind of doing the same idea as it, but a little bit better. Also, when it comes to the Shadow variant of Oddish there, PvPoke does say that the Shadow variant is slightly better than the normal Oddish. I actually hadn't practiced with Oddish or Shadow Oddish myself, so I can't give you a full assessment on which fast move is exactly better. So I'd say do your own testing when it comes to that, and pick whichever one you're most comfortable with. Me personally though, I'm probably not going to be bringing Oddish to the Element Cup. I like the other grass type Pokemon a bit better than it. Then coming in at the number 4 slot, we have Cottonee. And people that have been studying and following the Element Cup might be a little bit surprised to see Cottonee here on number 4 in a top 5 list for the grass type Pokemon in the Element Cup. I mean, it's a really good Pokemon. It's got Charm. It's a fairy type Pokemon, so it's got the same type attack bonus on the Charm. It can charm a lot of stuff down. Even stuff that resists Charm really doesn't appreciate fighting Cottonee. And then Cottonee is also coming in with the 458 stat product there, 89.1 defense, the 96 stamina, so it is one of the more tanky options in the Element Cup as well, which is definitely a massive positive for the Cottonee. When it comes to fast moving stuff down, I'd say Cottonee probably does it the best out of anything else in the Element Cup. So why number 4? Well, there are fire type Pokemon in the Element Cup that resist Charm, and Cottonee only has grass type charge moves, which are also resisted by the fire type Pokemon. And then some of the better grass type Pokemon in the Element Cup are also sub-poison type, which also resists Charm and then also gives those grass poisons a doubled up resistance to the grass type charge attacks. Which means that if an opponent is ever so slightly prepared for the Cottonee, Cottonee's going to have a really rough time. That said, if Cottonee isn't meeting resistance, then it's going to have a great time. I think a lot of people will be using Cottonee in the Element Cup, and even though it is number 4, you know, it's not bad. This is top 5, so it's number 4 out of all the grass options, and I think Cottonee will be getting people a ton of victory there. On top of that, you only need one charge move, so you don't even have to spend Stardust on a secondary charge move, so it is a pretty good budget option for the Element Cup as well. Then coming in at number 3, we have Exeggcute. Exeggcute is kind of like the smart version of Cottonee, if you will, because it's using Confusion. Psychic type damage here as its fast move spam, also backed up by a same type attack bonus, so really heavy Confusion damage there. The difference between Confusion and Charm in this particular cup is, poison type Pokemon, they're weak to Confusion, and fire type Pokemon don't resist Confusion. So nothing for the most part in this cup is going to be resisting that Confusion damage there, so it is the better type if you're going to spam a fast move in this cup. That said, Exeggcute isn't as tanky as Cottonee is, and the stats on Confusion aren't quite as good as Charm are, even though we are unresisted here. So because of those two factors, there are going to be a lot of Pokemon that Cottonee can straight farm down with the fast moves that Exeggcute can't, because Exeggcute can't tolerate as many hits itself as Cottonee can. So even though it is like the smart guy version of Cottonee, Cottonee is just the straight undeniable Unga Bunga Smash version of the Exeggcute. Another big benefit to the Exeggcute here is that we do have access to Psychic. Psychic is the charge move that basically everything in this cup is going to want to shield, so it is a really aggressive charge move. And then we also got Seed Bomb as that sidearm, so we can get an effective hit against water type Pokemon. So better charge moves than the Cottonee as well, but once again, not as tanky as the Cottonee. And then Confusion as an attack technically isn't as good as Charm is. You may be tempted to go with Ancient Power, super effective hit on the, fire type Pokemon and the Ducklet, but Ancient Power has really bad damage. So unless you happen to get the boost, I think I'd much rather go with Seed Bomb and Psychic. I mean, Psychic, everything isn't going to want to get hit by Psychic, so yeah, I don't think there is much room for the Ancient Power here on Exeggcute. One big drawback too, compared to Cottonee with the Exeggcute, is that you will have to get the secondary charge move to use it most effectively, and that is 50k Stardust down the drain there. But, Exeggcute might not be all that much more expensive than Cottonee is. Cottonee, you do have to power up to like level 30.5, where the best Exeggcute here is going to come out at level 17. So if your Cottonee isn't already like level 25 plus, that could be like a hidden cost of the Cottonee that you might not be thinking about when you're sitting there saying that it's this good, cheap budget option for the Element Cup here. Then coming in at the number 2 slot, we have everybody's favorite starter from Gold and Silver, Chikorita, right? We all picked Chikorita as our starter in Gold and Silver, right? Everyone's number 1 favorite starter in that game. At any rate, Chikorita is really good in the Element Cup and could easily be considered the number 1 Grass-type Pokemon for the Element Cup, barring a couple factors there. That does make the number 1 option for this tier list, top 5 list, whatever you want to call it. At any rate, let's talk about Chikorita. Chikorita is pretty nice. It's relatively tanky. It's coming in at 419 for the stat product, and it's pretty fast on the draw with the Vine Whip, and has nice neutral damage with the Body Slam. So there are tons of matchups that Chikorita can just overcome just through the straight body slammage there, being a nice neutral hit, and being very quick there. I mean, the PV poke thing does say it's spammy and says it's dynamic, and that basically surmises like my experience with using Chikorita in the Element Cup. And I have a lot of experience with practicing with Chikorita because I really do love Chikorita for the Element Cup here. So yeah. So why is Chikorita number 2? Why isn't it number 1? Well, one problem that it has is that it's just a little bit too soft hitting sometimes. So while being able to reach Body Slam really quickly and being able to reach your Grass Knots really quickly as well is nice, and it can allow you to overcome a lot of different matchups, sometimes it's just not quite enough, and your opponent will end up KOing you, or you may KO an opponent, and then you don't really have a whole lot of like shield pressure on the next thing that comes in. So that can be a little bit rough for the Chikorita there. That said, Chikorita is definitely an ace in the hole Pokemon when it comes to the Element Cup there, so if you do have a decent IV spread on it, you may want to consider whipping it out for the Element Cup. Then to finish things off here, number 1 on this top 5 list, we have Bulbasaur. So what does Bulbasaur have that Chikorita doesn't? Well, 2 things. 1, it's a sub-poison type Pokemon, so it is more difficult for opposing grass type Pokemon and Cottonee in particular to deal with, which is nice. And then 2, it's got Sludge Bomb. So like with Oddish, Sludge Bomb is one of those attacks that nothing in the Element Cup really wants to eat. It does massive damage to tons of stuff, even in neutral there, and you get to it very quickly with the Vine Whip. So as far as shield pressure is concerned, yeah, Bulbasaur has it. And as far as a closer goes in the Element Cup, yeah, Bulbasaur's got it going on there too. And if you are up against a water Pokemon or something like that in the end game, well, you're reaching those Seed Bombs really freaking quickly there. So yeah, definitely a very nice Pokemon overall for the Element Cup. I'd say if you were to compare and contrast to the Chikorita there, Bulbasaur can run into trouble against opponents that do end up shielding the Sludge Bomb and can just kind of take it out from there. That said, unlike the Chikorita, your opponent may want to shield that Sludge Bomb, which means you could get a shield from an opponent in a disadvantageous matchup where Chikorita is just going to kind of tickle them with body slams until Chikorita gets taken out. So there are trade-offs here. I would say sometimes you do want the extra speed that Chikorita offers, and I'd say there's also times where you want the extra damage and that poison subtyping that Bulbasaur offers. Both could be considered number one, but I say the poison stuff going on here definitely makes Bulbasaur number one in regards to this top 5 list. And then also like Chikorita, it is a starter type Pokemon, so only 10k Stardust to 2-move it. Well, what more can you want from a Pokemon in the Element Cup? Now there are some honorable mention grass type Pokemon for the Element Cup as well that are kind of analogous to the other Pokemon that I've mentioned in this top 5 list. First up, we can talk about Turtwig. Turtwig is kind of like Oddish in that it's a Razor Leaf spamming Pokemon. Cool thing that Turtwig has going on is that it's tanky and that it also has access to Body Slam. The problem that Turtwig has is that there's tons of grass type Pokemon in the Element Cup that are going to resist the Razor Leaf there, and it doesn't have that sub-poison typing to give it even more of an advantage against opposing grass type Pokemon. And then it also doesn't have Sludge Bomb access. So Turtwig's pretty good as a Razor Leaf spammer, but I feel like that kind of ultimately holds it back compared to Oddish. Then we can also consider Bellsprout as a good option as well. It's got Vine Whip, it's got Sludge Bomb. It's basically Bulbasaur, but more fragile. So, you know, if at the end of the day, and then I think it's more expensive too. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's a 50k Stardust second move. Like, if you really had to pick, why would you pick Bellsprout over Bulbasaur here? Unless you're going with Bulbasaur and Bellsprout for that double Sludge Bomb threat, I think that could be a pretty interesting idea. So yeah, definitely don't count out Bellsprout. And then there's Chespin, and Chespin's kind of like Chikorita Light as well. Same kind of scenario as the Bellsprout with the Bulbasaur. Some people are hyping up Chespin a little bit because it's got Gyro Ball, which is Steel type attack, super effective damage onto the Cottonee there, but it doesn't really matter. And like, what are you going to give up for your charge attacks to fit in Gyro Ball for the chance that you might run into Cottonee? I don't know, I think it's kind of a joke. One final grass type Pokemon to mention here is going to be Snover. Snover is pretty interesting. It has a double weakness to fire, so if any fire type Pokemon touches it, it's kind of the end of the line for Snover there, which holds it back in a pretty big way. But Snover does stand out in that it is an Ice-type Pokemon. It does have Ice-type attacks, so it can potentially farm down opposing Grass-type Pokemon with that. And then it can threaten them with Ice Beam. So if it's able to get, the Powder Snow farm down on one thing, next thing comes in, you got an Ice Beam to throw at it. You're either getting a shield or you're taking out that Grass-type Pokemon. So that's pretty nice. And then it also has Grass-type charge moves to throw at Water-type Pokemon, which is also nice. Big problem that Snover has, though, is once again fire type damage, just kind of rips right through it, and it's really not all that great against the Ducklet there either. And even though it does have the super effective fast move against the grass type Pokemon, the Ice Beam does come a little bit too slowly, and then its secondary charge move isn't low enough of a cost to help it speed up with the Ice Beam against opposing grass types. So Snover overall just kind of has it rough in practice there. But if you are able to bring it in and you're able to fast move farm down something to take it out, or you get enough of an energy lead from the swap in, then Snover can be pretty deadly. Of course, if it doesn't meet a fire type Pokemon. And if it does that, then you're kind of done. At any rate, that's all I gotta say about the grass type Pokemon here in the Element Cup. If you got any questions on this content, of course, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this content, you want to see more like it, maybe you want to know about the top 5 Fire-type Pokemon of the Element Cup, or maybe you want to know the best teams for the Element Cup, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description.